radical left Democrats, the do-nothing Democrats, decided when I'm going to NATO, this was set up a year ago, that when I'm going to NATO, that was the exact time. This is one of the most important journeys that we make as president. And for them to be doing this, saying this, and putting an impeachment on the table, which is a hoax to start off with. If you notice, there was breaking news today. The Ukrainian president came out and said very strongly that President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. That should be case over. But he just came out a little while ago and he said President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong, and that should end everything. But it will never end it because they want to do what they want to do. They're getting killed in their own districts. I think it's going to be a tremendous boon for the Republicans. Republicans have never, ever been so committed as they are right now and so united. So it's really a great thing in some ways, but in other ways, it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace for our country.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to take a look at the latest new Q posts as Q continues to expose these big tech censors who are trying to shut down this movement and shut down our ability to look into these matters which are of the utmost importance to our republic, including the fact that you had the FBI running Operation Crossfire Hurricane trying to spy on President Trump and his political allies in order to help Obama and the Democrats. Nobody talks about that in the mainstream. We're going to do it here, so you guys are going to stick around and check it out. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. Look, I always have to start by saying this. Thank you if you've done it. You've hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done it, come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications so you get notified when these videos get posted. As always, we go over and check the Q board, and yes, we do have a whole set of new Q posts as Q is posting under a different trip code. We knew this was coming, and we have confirmations from President Trump via Twitter. Plus, we have a bunch of interesting stories that we're going to cover associated with what Q is posting. So you guys are definitely going to want to stick around and check that out. Before we get into all that, we've talked about this in pretty much every episode at this point, and it's something I have to reiterate because it's so important. There are big tech censors who have these suppression algorithms that are actually set to keep this content from going viral, to keep it from as many people as possible, to keep it away from the public. You know why? Because they're doing everything they can to suppress this channel and other channels like it, because we are talking about a narrative that they don't want to be heard. So they're trying to shut down our free speech. They're trying to slowly destroy us by taking away our monetization, taking away our suggested videos. They've done everything they can to try to push us out and replace us with the corporate fake news liars in the mainstream media. But you guys are the only reason that we keep going, right? You come here, you watch these videos, you share them on your social media, you hit the share button on this video, and if you scratch your head going, what's QAnon, what's the Great Awakening? Watch this video right here, share it on your social media, get the word out that way. We have to circumvent their stranglehold over the narrative because these people are corrupt and they're getting ready for even bigger moves in the run-up to the 2020 election. They're going to try to silence all conservative Christians out there who support President Trump and support this country. So it's up to you guys to make your voices heard, to share this on your social media, to get it out as far and as wide as you can. And that's my plea to you every time because it's so true. So let's get into it. But before we do that, I have to remind everybody this video is brought to you in part by RedPillLiving.com/justinformed. You guys need to come check out their website. Check out all the benefits you can get by using products like Carbon 60 and the liposomal vitamins, which I love personally. Take a bunch of them every day. It makes me feel great. And there's a bunch of other great products here that me and my family love that you guys should definitely check out. So go check out RedPillLiving.com/justinformed. Use the coupon code justinformed to get 10% off. And I guarantee you're going to love these products. So come here to RedPillLiving.com/justinformed and check it out. So let's get into the latest Q post because there's a lot of information we have to cover here. As usual, we have a whole set of Q posts that we're going to get into, which I think really help to give you more clarity, to give us all more clarity on what's happening behind the scenes. But it apparently seems that Q's been posting to his new board, which is another private board that only he can post to, called Project D Comms. I've been able to find a few iterations of it. It seems as though it is legit and it is Q. All the trip codes are checking out as far as what we're seeing. President Trump tweeting within a 1 minute delta, pretty much confirming Q. So we know that this is the new trip code is Q, and Q is Trump, is his officials plus military intelligence. The fake news media will never tell you that, but that I tell you regularly because it's the truth. And the fake news liars can't stand the truth. That's the one thing they are allergic to. Just as allergic as a vampire is to sunlight, the fake news is to the truth. So that's what's happening right now. We have this new trip code confirmed, so now we have these posts to go over. Kind of was waiting for some confirmations on that, and now we got them, right? Simple as pie. Here's the video. Let's get right into it. By the way, just to let you guys know, this is the 700th video on the channel here. So give or take, I guess, it's 700 posted. I've had to remove a few videos here and there along the line, but suffice it to say, this is the 700th public video posted. So I guess we've hit that, and we're going to keep going, hopefully, God willing, with God's help. We'll be able to keep going and getting this information out to you guys, because that's what matters. So first, what does Q do? Post in this Project DCOMS board this 18 U.S. Code Chapter 115 on treason, sedition, and subversive activities, giving us this explanation out of 18 U.S. Code 2385, which is talking about advocating the overthrow of government, right? And I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but I'll read the first paragraph here because I think it's exactly what we are exposing these criminals who are in politics, in big tech, in corporations, you name it, the people who are actively trying to help advocate the overthrow of this government. You go, Craig, these guys aren't that bad. You know, some of them are innocent. Yeah, sure. Well, that's all great and good, but they're also actively helping the enemy perform a coup against the president of the United States. They're literally abating and advocating, I should say, as it says here, the overthrow of government by helping to push this coup hoax against President Trump, which has led to impeachment, which is just being used as a way to meddle in the election, which is the most insane thing ever. That if you're like anyone who's got the most rational mind, like if you're just a logical person who's trying to objectively look at this, I don't understand how you can look at this and objectively say, well, the mainstream media is not biased against Trump. Of course they're biased against Trump. Big tech's biased against Trump. The Democrat left is biased against Trump. Now that you can say whatever you want about, because obviously they're on different ends of the aisle, but at least on the Republican conservative side, it's not just a clown show with a bunch of corrupt criminals lying 24/7, 365. That's what you get when you watch the left. That's what you get when you let big tech aggregate your news, when you use Apple News, when you go and type news into Google. You're just getting the leftist talking points that they want to force feed down your gullet and make you into a sheep, right? I had to go on that rant because look, that is exactly what's going on. And the more I see these people come forward and try to say, oh, well, you know, nothing's going to happen. You know, Attorney General Barr is already picking apart the IG report. Well, we already knew the IG report's meaningless. There's no prosecutorial power with the IG. So all it is them, I think, baiting the people into looking deeper into a lot of these things. They're going to just say, oh yeah, there was no you know, way to verify that there was any criminal actions, when in reality the criminals were using tools that are sensitive to national security. Therefore you can't publicly come out and just say yes, they are criminals. It's so convoluted and crazy. How are they advocating for the overthrow of the government? Let's look at this. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein, by force or violence, or by the assassination of any officer of any such government, or whoever with intent to cause the overthrow or destruction of any such government prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written or printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence, or attempts to do so, or whoever organizes the help, or whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, or encourage the overthrow of or destruction of any such government by force or violence, or becomes or is a member of or affiliates with any such group or assembly of persons, the assembly of persons knowing the purposes thereof, shall be fined under this title or in prison not more than 20 years, or both. So let's look at this, right? What are the parts of this that are important? Why is Q bringing this up? It's this part right here. The fake news media and these liars in Congress, these liars in big tech, these liars in politics, whoever with the intent to cause the overthrow of the destruction of any such government prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written, printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, or desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or violence, or attempts to do so. Does that sound like a few people you could think of off the top of your head? Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Eric Swalwell, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, Facebook, Google, YouTube, Twitter. You could keep going all day with this one, right? And the fact that these people are not just advocating for the overthrow of the government, but they're doing it in such a sinister way where they hide it behind all these virtue signals and these supposed movements that are, definitely organic movements and not just created by AI and bots with algorithms and spiders, crawling spiders that can go out and just pick what they want off the internet and push it to the top, right? Definitely not that. But this is what Q is telling us to look at, and I think it's very important to realize that. Now, the next one here is Q posting this trip confirm config, and this is the new trip code, right? So the new trip code comes, and CodeMonkey basically verified that only Q can post with the trip code now. That was one of his messages earlier, so we kind of have put that to bed. But it was at 12:55 Eastern, but 12:55:59, and then this President Donald Trump tweet coming at 10:56 a.m. on the dot, right? So exactly within 1 minute of Q posting on this new trip code, we have President Trump putting this tweet out here saying, the Republican Party has never been so united. This impeachment scam is just a continuation of the 3-year witch hunt, but it is only bringing us even closer together, which truer words couldn't have been said. Thank you, Mr. President. But there's a lot more to this than I think most people were able to pick up on. A lot of the Anons dove right into this because they saw a lot of things. First of all, the new trip code, you can actually find, and I don't know how much of how much this really works, except that it does work somehow, and you can actually find every letter except Q from the trip code. So if you look at what they did, you can see they kind of show here how they took the tweet, right? And then they found all the letters from the new trip code, and the only one that was missing was Q. And they took that as obviously another confirmation, which we'll get into that in a minute here as we look at more Q posts. But what Q is telling us basically is that we have the new trip, Q posting under it. Then we have President Trump tweeting out within 1 minute of the Q post, and that is a part of the confirmation for the Q. Now in the next one of the Anons actually puts together this graphic which shows the 1 minute delta between President Trump's tweet and, of course, the post on the Q board. So that's definitely something to look at and say, all right, well, we're having more confirmation that this is an active new trip code for Q to use to get information out. Now, what's incredible to me is, you watch the fake news and they're coming after us, they're attacking us, they're doing everything they can to try to shut us down. You got to watch the way that they attack us in the news today. But with that in mind, you have to understand that we are doing something that they're terrified of, which is awakening the people. So again, Q told us basically what to expect when the new trip code was confirmed, and that was more reference to the notebook, the watch, and the pen on the desk. Seemingly it has to be sitting on something. We're assuming the watch, the pen, and the notebook are sitting on the desk. That's the picture Q gives us. Again, this is an IWC, I think it's International Watch Company. It's a $12,000 watch. I don't know whose this is yet. Obviously, it belongs to somebody related to the Q who's always near and with them. A lot of Anons picked up on the reflection in the metal of the watch here saying that there's a lot of red in this reflection. And of course, today, guess who? The First Lady, Melania Trump, was wearing a red coat, and President Trump was with her. So I don't know, but you can definitely, I think, see somebody holding an iPhone here, and that's their hand, that's their index finger holding the iPhone, them taking the picture. As far as who the face is and who's taking it, that's up for you guys to decide. I'm not going to tell you what I think, other than it's probably somebody very close to President Trump, if not the big guy himself, the big kahuna, whatever you want to call him. The President of the United States is the most respectful way to say it. So that's how I'll go. But that is something that's interesting. And of course, another confirmation from Q, number 2. So get this out there that this is the new trip code, I guess, right? So as we expect the latest drop from the IG report to come, we have Q reminding us of this marker, right? It was a marker for justice back in December 9th of 2017, where Q just said justice. Well, lo and behold, December 9th, 2019 will be the day that the IG report is released. Now, we already have stories coming out about how nobody's believing the IG report, and there's a lot of dissent amongst those, because this report just came out talking about how Attorney General Barr is disputing Major Horowitz findings based on Durham and CIA evidence. So there is a conflict happening there where the Inspector General, who, don't forget, used to be a Democrat, right, and was appointed by Obama, this guy is coming out and saying, look, there's nothing wrong with the Operation Crossfire Hurricane. There's nothing wrong with sending FBI agents to go work with foreign intelligence services to illegally spy on the President of the United States because President Trump said something at some point or did one thing or something, which is just all made up, what? To take a line from Joe Biden, it's a bunch of malarkey, okay? And if you guys don't know what that is, don't worry. It's just something that's a very old phrase. But for, let's just say BS, right? So they're coming out now. Barr's shooting down this IG report. But remember, the IG doesn't really have any prosecutorial power. What's the IG going to do? He's just writing a report. It's like, it's the equivalent to what Adam Schiff did, getting up on stage and lying about President Trump. You just get up there and you spew some lies, and then you go back to your little hole wherever you came from and pray that the deep state doesn't send their minions to do God knows what to you, right? So that's where we're at right now, and Q's pointing us to this, saying that this date is going to be a big date. I mean, look, for all the people out there who want to say this or that, my opinion is this. Whatever comes out in the IG report, even if the IG says, look, we didn't find any corruption here, maybe it'll be just like the first IG report where he says, look, there was nothing wrong with the way that the Hillary Clinton investigation was handled, when in reality, it's like the report was just glaringly, point after point showing how Hillary Clinton was corrupt and how the Clinton Foundation was corrupt, and the fact that there were investigators who were taking notes after discovering things like Anthony Weiner's laptop, which had things with the Clinton Foundation and crime against children, if you guys will remember that, right? So that's just Q reminding us of the date coming up. December 9th is when the IG report's going to drop. We'll see what happens. Now, Q goes here and references this Q post, or this Methods to Madness post. And we talked about this last night in the show about 60 Minutes and how they did this big hit job on QAnon. You can see here on the page, right, on the actual video on national TV, they played Joe M's video, Plan to Save the World, QAnon one. Then they put in this, and they show, what's hilarious is they typed in QAnon, right? And then it shows all the searches that pop up, and they're talking about how, Susan Wojcicki needs to do more to limit the people, basically free speech, basically to become the communist, fascistic, Chinese type censors of the internet. That's what CBS is advocating for with their, gargoyle of a woman giving the interview in this show. But it shows it right here. All the things that come up when you type QAnon in the search engine are all fake news, mainstream media lies about us. So they're already actively trying to suppress us. They're already actively putting together this psychological psyop campaign to try to destroy us and undermine us. And CBS News just wants to pile on and get in on the whole let's attack QAnon, because now that YouTube changes their policies coming up in December, they're going to be able to start purging all of these accounts. And you know what they're ultimately doing? They're interfering in the 2020 election. This is illegal. This is a violation of everything our country stands for, and these sick, disgusting people are involved in it, and I'm just getting fed up, right? And they're all in it together. Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, guess what? Her sister is Ann Wojcicki, who happens to be the co-founder of 23andMe, the company that does what? Oh, takes everyone's DNA in the world, who happened to also be married to Sergey Brin, the guy who created and started Google and Alphabet. So let me ask you this. If these people were trying to become the most powerful people in the world to someday, hopefully in their crazy, sick, deranged minds, overthrow the sovereignty of the U.S. government, become a corporation that's above and beyond us, right? They are doing it by taking all the information in the world, putting it against all of our DNA, and then creating veritable monopolies in all of these sectors. Q asks, why are the world's largest media companies, or largest media companies in the world, constantly attacking this so-called conspiracy? Then Q gives us this Bing search for QAnon, which, I mean, again, just pulls up the most fake news garbage out there. First of all, somebody getting kicked off Twitter for talking about Ilhan Omar and all the stuff that she's into with Qatar and the corruption. Oh, great. That's not like Orwellian and just some dystopic nightmare. These people are going to destroy this country if we don't stand up and we stand against them and their psychotic censorship, which is getting to a point which is becoming Orwellian. It's really dystopic. It's getting worse and worse every day. It's the only way to describe it. People awake equals their greatest fear. They fear you having knowledge of what's happening, right? It's information warfare, and these sick, psychotic, I don't want to say it because I'm a Christian and I'm trying to be nice. These sick people, you know what they want? They want to overthrow this country. They want to take it over. They want their ideas and their thoughts and their, whatever philosophies to be the orthodoxy of this entire nation, and there should be no room for dissent. And they've gotten so much money and so much power that they think they can incrementally destroy the Constitution and the Bill of Rights because they have billions of dollars. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people out there that aren't going to let this happen. I'll leave it at that. You can tell I get a little upset at this. Of course, here, Lisa MI6, you guys remember this photo Q gave us a while ago. It was the actual surveillance of Lisa Page, Peter Strzok when they made their trip for Operation Crossfire Hurricane over to Great Britain to get, you guessed it, information from, let me guess, MI6, British intelligence, so that they could illegally spy on people in our country without breaking any laws. It's disgusting. It's sick. But the mainstream media won't talk about it. Yeah, of course. Why would they? Q says, be ready, Anon's public awakening coming. Public awakening coming. So I think we're going to get more information on that. And of course, finally here it says, Anons, why would we provide the date of the FISA release? Logical thinking, ammunition is finite, Q. And I mean, this one's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. What happened last time that this happened? We talked about this in the last episode, which is interesting that Q's bringing it up now. But if you'll remember, what was scheduled for December 5th of 2018 that was conveniently interrupted so that we could have the state funeral for George H.W. Bush? I'll give you a second. You guys guessed it yet? Well, if you guessed, the Inspector General Michael Horowitz giving the U.S. Attorney, I should say, John Huber, giving a testimony in front of Capitol Hill about the Clinton Foundation, you would have been correct, right? So they were using their ammunition to actually try to get ahead of what they thought was going to be this bombshell testimony, which actually turned out to be pretty big in its own right. But this in IG report, I think, is going to be bigger. So like I said, even if Inspector General Horowitz comes out and says, he could say whatever he wants, right? He could literally write in the findings that everything the Democrats and the deep state did was totally fine and hunky-dory. But as long as his report details point by point what these people did, that's all that matters. Horowitz has no prosecutorial power. The power is with John Durham and Attorney General Barr. So I'll leave that with you guys. You, the people, can make your decisions for yourself. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. I'm just giving you my 2 cents. That's how this show works. So that's definitely where I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But a few more things before we go. Obviously, come here, watch these videos, share them on your social media for all the reasons that I've talked about in this video. I mean, obviously, you got to get these videos out there. They're going to try to suppress this. They're going to try to bury it. They're going to try to keep people from seeing it. They get on national TV and brag about it. They go on CBS 60 Minutes and brag about how they've knocked down channels like mine and others, our ability to get traction and views by like 70%. So, I mean, just think to yourself, if they weren't, throttling my channel by about 70%, what would the growth be? We'd be the biggest, me and a bunch of other people doing this would be the biggest people on YouTube, and we would replace the fake news media as we are slowly doing right now. So that's why I ask you guys to watch these videos, share them on your social media, get the word out there. It's what matters. It's what's going to help win this battle and continue to let these corporate elite cabal globalist sick satanic weirdos, criminals in a lot of cases, know that we, the people, will not tolerate your lies being shoved down our throat. We will not tolerate your censorship. We will not tolerate the injustice of a two-tiered justice system. We are going to continue to fight for the things that matter, right? And that is equality of law, truth, justice, and those are the things that we're focusing on. So that's my plea to you guys. And of course, hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't, leave your thoughts, theories, and insights below. I want to hear what you guys have to say, so go down in the comments and do that. Also, don't forget, go download the Brave browser. Another way to stick it to them, don't give them all your information for free. These companies have become the most powerful companies in the world because they steal your private personal information and sell it to others. If you're using Google, if you're using any of their products, you are the product. They are selling you and your privacy. So try to avoid that by doing things like downloading Brave. It's free. I should mention that. Go to the link in the description, download it. It's a better internet browser. It's just like Google Chrome and all those other internet browsers. It's got all the same features and functionality, but it's better. It blocks advertisements. It makes it easier to surf the web. And it also has a built-in VPN and Tor browser. So go check out the Brave browser using the link in the description. And when you do that, they make a contribution to the channel. So it's a win-win. Also, don't forget to go check out my Twitter. You can find me over here at JUSTINFORMED, where we can have a conversation outside of the channel. I love having you guys come over here and give me a follow on this site so that we can talk. And it's just a great, easy way to connect. Also, check out JustinformedNews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. Links to the Q stuff, different news sites, breaking news, and of course, the latest videos from the channel here. So go check that out. Also, I'm on BitChute because we don't know what's going to happen with Google and their censorship, the thought police there who want to throw people into the memory hole, just delete channels, years of work and research. They want to just delete it and throw it in the memory hole because they are, as we've talked about, evil authoritarians. But come over here and find me on BitChute. There's a link in the description. Hit the subscribe button here too. And that way, if anything ever happens to the main channel, at least we'll have places where we can still connect and I can put out my videos because I'm going to keep doing this regardless of what they do. Also, a few other ways you can help out. You guys keep this channel alive. Patreon, Patreon.com. It's a crowdfunding website. Without your support, this channel wouldn't exist. You guys keep it going. YouTube's taking away all the money. There's no incentive for me to stay on there except that I love my country. I put God first above all. And I love you guys out there, and I want to help bring you guys the truth. So you guys supporting me this way is what's kept me alive. So thank you. Like I said, it's a monthly donation. Set it and forget it. You're helping create content on this channel. Also, I have a GoFundMe set up. If you want to make a one-time or anonymous donation, links to all of that will be in the description. Now, before we go, we do a segment at the end of each one of these episodes called God's Grace is Greater, where we talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. Today, we're going to stick in the book of Ephesians. And this is such a powerful book of the Bible to me. It just has so many great messages. And I want to talk about this one, light versus darkness. This is out of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 6 through 10. And it says, 6 through 11, excuse me. It says, "Let no one deceive you with empty arguments, for because of these things, God's wrath is coming on the disobedient. Therefore, do not become their partners. For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the light results in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, discerning what is pleasing to the Lord. Don't participate in the fruitless works of darkness, but instead expose them. And I bring that verse to you because this is what we're doing. We are bringing the light against the darkness. We are bringing good against the evil. These sick criminals who we expose here, right, by talking about them, by exercising our freedom of speech and having that right to have these discussions, what are we doing? We're doing what it is commanded of us here. In the good book, it says, Ephesians 5, 6, 1 or 5, 6 through 10, verse 10, 9 and 10, it says, don't participate in fruitless works of darkness, but instead expose them. Excuse me, that was verse 11. So we are exposing them. And I think that that's my message to you. I mean, what else can we do, right? We put our faith in God, we live righteous life, we do unto others as we want unto ourselves, and then we expose these criminals and these corrupt, feckless people who are trying to destroy our country, destroy our homes, destroy our families, destroy our everything that we've built to this point. Why? Because they would rather destroy it all than lose this material power they've gained in this world. But they don't seek the true power, which is the power from above, the power of Christ Almighty. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I want you guys to come here, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the bell for notifications and hit it, punch it, bop it, tap it, turn it, whatever. Hit the like button if you guys like this content and want to see me make more. That's it for me. Thanks for watching this episode of Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.